Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drops. That's time of the month again. It was normally a dreaded thing to say that time of the month, but this time, not so bad. Not so bad. You're a Doctor Who. I don't know. Does it look good? Okay. Honestly, to me, it looks a lot like Russell T Davies' masturbatory fantasies. I think that's what's going on. Let's put a jacket up there. Hang on a second. It's cold here in Israel today. I tell you, it's weird. Weather is strange. But it seems to be Rusty Davies. He seems to be like, I like Jinx Monsoon a lot. I like him, every bit of him. I'm not sure how appropriate the casting is, which we go into in this review of Doctor Who magazine when they talk about Jinx Monsoon. I am joined by Dan Hadley, I think, for the entirety of this review. Dan Hadley from the Spacebook. Please subscribe over to the Spacebook, which is Fandabby Double Dose. It really is it. Actually, I do like that channel. I was on it last night, but it's actually one of my favorite channels to listen to and not go on, because it's always a nice mix of people, right? And it's a nice mix of outlook. So it was lovely having Dan with me. Thank you very much. Can I ask you to like, share, and subscribe? All those things are fantastic. You want to be super nice to me. Well, there's many ways you can do that, actually. But the way I would suggest, the easiest way, if you could head over to Rumble and subscribe to me there. I'm trying to build if you are on Rumble, if you can subscribe me there as well, that'd be fantastic. I'm trying to build out my channel on Rumble because it's so much better. It's so much better than YouTube. It's crazy how much better than YouTube it is. I just get so much more traction there with my videos on a tiny account. I reckon I got about 3,800 odd subscribers on YouTube, just stagnant, right? I would like to hit 1,000 on Rumble by the end of the summer, and I would like to, but this time next year, to have eclipsed YouTube. And I think I will, because it's so clear how much they have the thumb on the scale if you think unspeakable thoughts. Like, generally speaking, I think, women don't have penises. But of course they do, YouTube. Don't worry, I'm not arguing with you. Of course women have penises, and they're stunning, and they're brave, and they're feminine, and they're penises until they decide they're male penises. I don't know how it works, okay? But YouTube doesn't like me saying that. Rumble says like, yeah, well, that's just normal. You're fine with that. So if you can subscribe me on Rumble, that'll be fantastic. Like, share, subscribe, all those things are fantastic. I got a lot of work on today. I'm not sure I'm going to be... I had a plan to do about 3 minutes of the audio on this book on tape a day. Failed completely. Okay, I had that plan on last week, and I forgot it was Israel Independence Day, which just blew my entire week up. This is the first week I've actually had a normal week in a long time. So, I haven't had any Jewish holidays, so I'm optimistic. I'm always optimistic. Anyway, you get that on my Substack. So this is a AI deepfake Colin Baker reading Millennial Rights. Great book, right? And I would love to do all of these. Big Finish. Come on, Big Finish. Stop putting... I love Big Finish to do them, quite frankly. Again, AI, right? Take Seth McCoy. He's never read a book on tape. I doubt you could keep his concentration long enough, quite frankly. But you have all the raw, dialogue of him recording everything for Big Finish. You could so have him read The New Adventures, right? And that's such a range that's being lost to time. I find that reasonably tragic. Anyway, that's in my Substack. Head over to Rumble. I'm on Twitter. Twitter is all you get all my videos as well. Facebook a little bit. What else? Instagram, if I remember. Basically, that works out. It's all there in the videos. Sign up to everything. Become a mindless zombie. Treat me like you treat social media. Just do whatever I tell you. Right? Put a rabbi flag in your bio. Wouldn't that be great if I could just make everybody do that? Like, everyone's got a little rabbi flag. Oh, yes, we're supporting the rabbi. Oh, yes, that would be awesome. Right? That would be awesome. I'm behind... It'll be awesome, only as an expression of my own personal narcissism. But, I don't think I express that quite enough. Maybe because I have too much narcissism. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, comment, everything in the video notes. That we hand over to me and Dan Hadley. When I do this review, this is on Thursday. I do live streams every day now because I'm chasing the Rumble algorithm. So this comes on Thursday. Let me hand over to me from a few days ago. There you go, my jiggery. So I didn't realize it was the coronation this week, right?
Yeah, it comes in a big bag.
Here, one second. Let me
Comes in a big bag this time. £7.99.
Yeah. Coronation treat though. There you go. What's on the back of that?
Listen,
those posters look pretty darn nice, right? There's a lot in this that looks good. Indeed.
Yeah.
Right.
Magic.
Let's start having a peruse. Listen, I like Idiots Lantern. It's I guess if you a royal episode, like I don't know, is that the one that leaps out? I mean, I guess it's David Tennant. I'm surprised they didn't do the Day of the Doctor with Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah, but I suppose there's not so much bunting in that, is there?
I guess not. Yeah, this does feel very. Okay, I've never listened to these, but there's a free one. I will check it out. Okay, The Cars at 8 London. Fine, I will check that out. Look, listen. I think the King likes Doctor Who. That's always the impression I got.
He seems, if not a fan, he seems an ally, for want of a better word.
By the way, I do like the official portrait of him sitting back in the chair, like being a bit more relaxed. Have you seen that?
I don't think I have. I've seen one of them stood up wearing a suit.
No, what's that? I think it's the one I use on the thumbnail. So if there were, hang on.
I love the fact that Dimensions in Gen is peed off at DWM. Absolutely.
I know, and they're coming over as such intense weirdo. You can just sit there like that. That's the official.
Even guys out there, even if you're not a monarchist in any way, shape, or form, just get behind this to wind up absolute turds like.
I think that's good. That's good advice. Good advice that you should take. But yeah, this is where you see he's like sitting back. He's looking relaxed. That's a good portrait, if I may say so. Fine.
Got swag. He's got swag.
He's got swag. Well, listen. Again, if I was going to be coronated king, I would have a big concert as well. Okay, that's what I was saying earlier. Fine. Jamie Lenman, Mike Jones, and Eddie Robson. Don't know who Mike Jones is, but I know the other two. Okay. This is big news, right? I'm very excited about this. Murray Gold returning. So,
are you a fan of Murray from the original run? Because he was there for a long time, wasn't he?
Of course. Yeah. No, he was. That is the sound of Doctor Who, right? That really. Yeah, he's part of that DNA, and he'll be a hard person to replace. I'm glad they don't have to.
Yeah, it's one of our talking points later on. So I did wonder how you felt about it because
very happy, very very happy.
Because you're not one for sort of mindless nostalgia, are you? No.
He understands what Doctor Who is, right? He understands the romance of it and the science fiction of it and how it's unique, right? But I think the romance of it really that he really brings it out.
No,
was it this game? Who cares? Like, is anybody buying this? Get at it. Like, what are you thinking, mate? I'm sorry.
There seems to be 2 or 3 of those games every couple of years, and they're just interchangeable.
And nobody cares, right? Nobody cares. The Dalek Awakens. So this was the Big Finish release, the Dalek sections as a release, and it was kind of boring, as I recall, right? So okay, so this is a good segue. Let me pull this up. A second video. This is from Jinx's public Twitter from yesterday, right? So let's say a kid sees Jinx Masoon, sees him on Twitter, sees him on Doctor Who, and then they go straight to this. This is my problem.
And then we immediately started having sex. So now all the small talk with the date is coming after the sex while we're naked and kind of like slowly redressing. And I'm looking around the room for the condom so I can throw it away.
Don't get me wrong. I'm fine for there being adult conversations about adults doing adult stuff, right? This is my problem. The complete lack of any boundary between this and drag. It's like, it's not okay, right? This is not okay for a kid show. I'm sorry. All right, it gets worse. Let me go.
I ask him, do you know where the condom ended up? And he looks around and he goes, "Oh, I think it's still inside you."
Oh.
Again, adult conversations I'm fine with. But like, again, there needs to be a boundary between, and people like saying, what's all the moral panic about? This! Literally this! Okay?
It's pretty bad. Mate, the way I see it, okay, kids aren't legally supposed to have a Twitter account. I think you have to be 16 to have a Twitter account, something like that, legally.
I'm just saying, if this is your public persona, this doesn't make you family-friendly fair.
Exactly.
Right? The bottom line, right? It does. This is like something you. I don't know. It used to be when there's an idea of something called public decency, this wouldn't fly, right? And I'm not giving him a hard time. I'm just saying this is not appropriate for an audience with children. The reason he's in it is to normalize it. Look, here's the thing. Rusty Davis is a gay man, and I think his attitude towards sex was kind of like the first episode of It's a Sin, right? I mean, that was normal for him, right? That wasn't normal for most people, right? Most people aren't bunking up 24/7. We're just not. I'm sorry. Like with anybody and anybody you meet. That's like a porn movie, right? That's not what real life is supposed to be like. But it's good for you. So I think they kind of get tired of that, and then he got married, and then his husband died. And from reading the production notes, he's back to doing that again. And it's fine, okay? That's how you want to live your life. It's fine. I don't want to educate my kids. That's going to be something good for them, right? And it's not about the gayness. It's about the openness about towards sex. I think it should be somewhat intimate.
Well, anybody who's interested in following this brand will now see they'll be more than aware of an association between Doctor Who, the brand Doctor Who, and the brand Jinx Monsoon. So everybody can use Google. You know, I know 7-year-olds that can use Google. If they happen to like Doctor Who, and let's face it, the odds are against that after the Jodie Whittaker era. But all they've got to do is Google Doctor Who, Jinx Monsoon, podcast.
Right.
Boom.
Oh, yeah, not only that, you know, you see Jinx Monsoon in it, and he looks up, she's a woman, and it looks a bit strange. You can't work out why. So you Google here, and they come, like, you know, like... There's not much digital legwork involved in joining that with this, which is wholly inappropriate. I wouldn't go so far as to say it's immoral, but I think it's indecent. And I think that Jinx Monsoon is far from the class act that they're being portrayed, sold to us as. Right. And look, I'm sure they're very talented, right? But it's there's a second half of it. I haven't heard this yet. See what else they go.
But no, he's not thinking any issue of it. He says it very nonplussed, very matter of fact.
Yeah, which is how you're training kids.
Which I guess, I mean, what else can you do in that situation? But the fact that he hadn't brought it up until now, like I had to ask where it was, and then he remembered, oh, I forgot to tell you. The condom came off my...
Yeah, dude, enough, mate, enough. You know what? I'm not going to listen to you. You know, that's the problem. God bless, but that's the problem, right?
When did having any moral fiber whatsoever be seen as a bad thing?
Oh, I would think that was during the same-sex marriage argument. That's when it became a bad thing.
I was all for same-sex marriage. I was, but I'm starting to see your argument.
What do you want to say? I like slippery slope. What? I know what to tell you, mate. So much worse than anybody thought it would be.
Yeah.
You know,
I can see what you're pointing to. You know, I can completely see what you're pointing to with it.
Two people loving each other deserve to get married. Two boys deserve to have their penis cut off before they've ever used it sexually, right? Yeah, it's like that's a real slide, mate. Okay, that went from one to the other real freaking quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's at first, yeah. I couldn't see where it was connecting, but now it's starting to become clearer to me.
What can you do? But it's too late now. So it's like, okay.
Yeah.
But the thing is, and I don't think Russell Davis is being malicious at all, right? I think
No.
I just don't think he gets it, right? I just don't think he does. But he'll go. So the 6-year poll's still going. Looking at that. Letter of the showrunner. I like that he watches Picard. I like a lot about it, but you find what his world is like by reading his stuff, right? And he's just doesn't get how losing a condom up somebody's arse during torrid lovemaking with somebody you've never met before maybe something you don't want your 7-year-old learning about, right? I don't know. You put it description of what we saw.
When you put it like that, it sounds absolutely horrendous and completely indecent and monstrous.
But that's exactly what happened.
It is.
Look, I'm going to tell you again.
I still count myself as a fan of Russell T Davies. I mean, you and I, we've both copped quite a lot of flack for this.
It's been a rough few weeks, mate. Yes.
I know that we both of us had nearly a year ago now. The Rabbi sold out, and I had people sort of messaging me saying, "Oh, I'm not going to watch your content anymore," blah blah blah, and all that kind of thing. You can only speak as you find.
That's the point. Like the reason you have an audience is because you're honest. Right, and you can't just suddenly start lying and expect it to work.
No,
right. That's the thing. You got to be honest.
I agree with you. I think that Russell T Davies doesn't see any harm in any of this, and I think the reason why he can't see the harm is because I think his view, and I don't think this has anything to do with his orientation or any of that. I think he's just getting older. I think he's getting older. I think he's 2 steps away from where the driving culture is.
All classic liberals are like 5 years out of date, and they don't realize what's
exactly
happening. Right. And 5 years ago I would agree with you. Classic liberals are 5 years out of date, and man, like when did liberals become pro-war? Like, what the fuck's up with that? It's like and that's where we are now. It's a weird world we're living in. What can I tell you? Anyway, what they got? They got Jinx Monsoon. They got the 1985 charity single "Doctor in Distress" by Who Cares, performed by really. I don't think I'll see that. Emily Cook, I can't care. Nostalgic look at some. I don't care.
Yeah, I was in that YouTube column once, so I was chuffed at the time, but it's quite a low bar.
This I like how Scott Hancock has made this fascinating look inside the production of a TV show we're excited to see. So crushingly boring. I don't know. Look, Scott Hancock, I salute you, sir, and I think he's a good writer. But this is boring as piss and always has been. I mean, basically, the only good thing that came out from this is they said they really didn't have any idea about Doomsday. Right? They won't.
They're washing their hands of this. I mean, I get the impression Scott is one of those people associated with the Doctor Who brand I get the impression they're. Oh God, I'm going to use the word. I'm going to have to use it because it's its true context. I feel that he's being groomed for bigger things.
Yes.
And
he is. He totally is.
And that is entirely justified and warranted. I agree with you. What work of his that I've read, listened to, has been really solid. And I think
it was great.
He's very inventive. He's very steadfast with what he's doing, and he seems like a nice guy. However, to write a column like that, you have to have a real kind of aura, a real personality that transmits, right? And a voice, and he hasn't got that. And so to put him in the position where he's writing that columm, I mean, it's not as bad as Chris Chibnall's stuff.
That sounds accurate, right?
It was like reading Steve Davis's shopping list. It was just extraordinary every time he was doing it. So it's not as bad as that. But I do think that Scott isn't a natural fit for what they're getting him to do.
You need a schmoozer. Right, you need a YouTuber, somebody who can who can have a conversation.
Somebody who can.
They need me to do it. Russell, mate, Russell. Get rid of some of the trannies, and I'll come on board. Okay, listen, we'll work it out. We'll work it out.
Yeah, get yourself a rabbi. Get
yourself a rabbi.
Yeah,
One rabbi equals 3 feminist penises. Okay, that's the exchange rate. Speaking of which, I am so going to be using this this Jewish of Christopher Eccleston. Yes, mate, that's coming. That's going to be used a lot. Okay, that's happening. I don't know what for, but okay.
He looks like he's been sleeping under a park bench in Glasgow town centre for the last 3 months.
Well, he normally does, bless him. This year, 1971. Chat with the Wings, 5 rounds rapid. Okay. Big. Oh, have you looked through this yet? Big.
No,
feature. I'm going to be doing this.
It's still in its bag. This one came in a bag.
Sheathed. It's sheathed.
Yeah, sheathed. Yeah, they do that to stop them from having babies.
Yes, they do. They do. So anyway, so there's a big feature. Murray Gold talking about going back to Doctor Who. 6 years after leaving Doctor Who, composer Murray Gold talks to Benjamin Cook. Look, he's a knob, but he knows what he's doing within an interview, right? And I'm going to be looking forward to this, although they do talk about the Attack of the Soy Boys, which was...
oh, that was terrible.
Right.
I mean, bless them. And I'm always grateful for what Emily Cook did with that, but bloody hell, that was embarrassing. I couldn't actually get through that video.
I know. But anyway, so this is a great article, which I'm looking forward to going through. And I'm not a music fan, but this I'm really excited about. So I think Sunday night, right, my channel, we're going to be doing a Murray Gold evening. So we did so this is the poll for the Third Doctor, and this year the Inferno has been solid over the last 20 years. That's incredible. That's really interesting.
Well, for a while, I think it's because season 7 is so popular, isn't it? For a while, the Green Death did seem to sort of romp it home in any Pertwee poll. Actually, no, it was the Demons. For years, it was the Demons.
I like the Demons, yeah, especially when they brought it out in colour. Right, well, that's when it started to get. That was in VHS. Remember that? That was for the 25th anniversary, or the 30th anniversary, I think. 30th.
Yeah, around that time. So we've got Inferno sitting at the top.
But it's always been at the top. Look, from 98, 2009 to 2014, it's always been number 1.
Oh, well, I stand corrected. 25 years of consistent polling, number 1.
Yeah.
Look at the bottom. Look at Time Monster, exactly the same in reverse.
I know. Have you seen that? There's some very good. There's a guy did new effects for it. I should really edit them into my copy.
No, I haven't.
Fine, so we have a bit. I'm sorry. This looks so much better than Jodie Whittaker's Sea Devil.
Yeah,
it just does. It's so much better. And they go the top 3 and the bottom 1. And the Fourth Doctor, what's number 1? This time it is City of Death.
Ooh.
City of Death, Genesis of the Daleks, Pyramid of Mars, Robots of Death, Talons of Weng Chiang, Seeds of Doom. It's what you would expect, right? It's what Deadly Assassin is way lower than it should be. And Underworld's at the bottom. There's worse things.
I remember during the 80s and into the 90s, the Talons of Weng Chiang. He's a YouTuber. The Talons of Weng Chiang was always number 1 there, and it's still holding pretty well at number 5, isn't it? But it's sort of falling out of fashion. Look how high up Logopolis is. People, that was always mid-table, and it's gradually going up.
It's still top of mid-table.
But I tell a lie. That seems like that's been at 12 for a long time as well.
That I think the new special effects on the Blu-ray helped that massively. Oh, where'd he go? I lost him. Okay, hopefully he comes back. But I think the new special effects on the Blu-ray really helped that story massively. So they talk about the top. Oh, he's back. There you go. Doink, the same thing happened to you that happened to me?
Looks like it. That doesn't bode well for my live stream.
Yeah, BBC is watching us. So, here's an article I'm excited about. It's just I just got
Dave Gibbons, is there?
Yeah. Okay. This is like that we're going to be doing, spending a show on. There we go. So he's got a memoir coming out, but I'm really up for this. Doctor Who Weekly strip artist Dave Gibbons, the Fourth Doctor's flowing scarf was like Superman's cake. So he tells Mark Wright, I can't wait to read this. right? I am so up for reading this. This is
he's a legend.
This is a really great article, right? I'm really excited about this. So is that 3 pages? No, it's more than that. Hang on. Then you got cyber signing, don't care. And they normally have a little thing. Oh, it's either, 3. But yeah, we are totally covering it. Maybe we'll do that Saturday night. I don't know. See what's going on. This actually looks kind of interesting as well. Jackie Stone was in charge of the Doctor Who's press and publicity at the time of its launch, but she didn't want to give everything away. She tells. So this sounds like an interesting read.
Very nicely presented as well. I noticed they're upping their game in as regards puns at DWM lately. I love a good pun, as anybody who looks at my channel knows. And yes, they really are doing. Scarface is particularly good work, I think.
Okay. This is the ongoing thing where they just happen to choose anybody not white who isn't a white male to show he's working at Doctor Who. I've always been interested in what a runner does, though, so I will be reading this with interest. Right from the Lost Ark was this. So we have the fabled first story of the Doctor came the Ark in space is brought to life on audio. I'm no interest in this at all. Stuart Manning charts the ups and downs of writer John Le Carpenter's time with Doctor Who. Well, that I will listen to, but I have. Did you hear the original Revenge of the Cybermen?
Yes. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it was Revenge of the Cybermen with the Robert Holmes taken out.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I didn't enjoy it, but I still felt it was all a bit of a pointless exercise, and I'm not sure why they're doing it.
It felt like a draft. It didn't work, right? The finished version worked much better, right? Also doing very well, good for the new special effects. I used to have this Radio Times. I'm saying if they do season 20, I was saying this earlier before we came in, if they do season 20, right, with the 5 Doctors, they should do an ultimate edition with the special effects because they've never really got it right? Why did we get the little blob of ice cream time scoop? That was crap. We want that shaped time scoop, 3-dimensional, flat. That's it. Okay? That's it, mate. You can do that.
I suppose you're right. If you think about that special edition came out nearly 30 years ago now, it shouldn't mean that people who are maybe slightly more sensitive to the story couldn't go in there and create something far, far better and a real alternative to the original one.
Mostly it's good, but I don't like the scoop of ice cream. I remember these things going. This
was very much my era when I was just getting really deep into Doctor Who.
This was a huge thing, painting these little figures that people used to get. They're like Warhammer, man. Doctor in Distress. Oh my God, we were when we heard that bloody song, right? However, seeing this thing being made, that's very cool. That is very, very cool.
Never seen that particular picture before.
Yeah, I know, it's a new one. Yeah. So best special effect ever in Doctor Who. Crystal D, fuck off.
Crystal D's back, is she? Brilliant.
So we got this back. This is the strip. But actually, I can't remember where it got to, but it was quite good, right? It was some like fictional Daleks or something. They finally get rid of Jodie Whittaker's sonic screwdriver. That's one of the points of the strip. That's not a good page. That's not a good page, then, mate. But okay. Planet Evil, read by Tim Treloar. Why would they have Tim Treloar reading that? They should read the third Doctor story. That's just weird.
Yeah, this is a bit of a weird choice, unless he's putting on some sort of monstrous tone. I don't
know. Idiot's Lantern. Maybe I'll give it that a watch this week. Bit Maureen Lipman. And I haven't seen this for years. Actually.
Yeah, big revelation for me. I was watching a sitcom from 1971 about 3 weeks ago, and Maureen Lipman was a guest star in it. So this is like 52 years ago. Maureen Lipman, right. she was really hot. I was like, whoa.
Weird but true.
What's going on?
And what's her name? Helen Mirren. Yeah, that's
yeah. She was
that's a
fit
you
as well.
Never thought you wanted, but actually did. This has not piqued my interest at all. Conflict of interest. I did not get this. Not really interested.
No.
So, sadly, no. See, here's the thing: there's so much Big Finish now that they've really saturated the market. Like I just finished reviewing the Time War box set with Paul McGann that came out earlier this year. It took me a long time to get through it, not because it was bad, but it was just like superfluous, right? It felt like it just felt like another thing you can take, you can leave it, right? It's like it used to be 5 years ago. I'll be like, wait, there's a Tom Baker story that I haven't heard, but of course I'm going to get that, right? Like now I'm not, well, maybe Tom Baker, yeah. But Peter, I'm not like that with Peter Davison anymore. Like
they have saturated this market. I've been speaking to you about this for well over a year. It's to the point where if everything is an event, then nothing is an event. You get complacent. The standards start to fall. The relaunch last year was to some degree very successful, but I feel that they're slipping back into bad habits here. And the one thing that I think they've done that has kind of shot themselves in the foot that they haven't realized is taking away the independent branding from each strand. So it's all just, the Time War branding has gone now, hasn't it? It's just Doctor Who. They've just got Doctor Who and then the story title. And I think that's a mistake because people have decided, for better or worse, and whether Big Finish like it or not, people have decided which lines they wanted to follow or could afford to follow.
Where I am. That's exactly. And they were pushing them. I will get the War Doctor Begins and after the War game set, but most other things, I'm like, you've really got to work to convince me at this point, right? I am just not interested in a lot of stuff. But and it's a shame, right? Anything without Nick Briggs's eye on it is just weaker, right? This Time War box set was just weaker, and the trouble with these box sets are the linking theme isn't strong enough, right? The linking theme doesn't. It just feels the stories are too random, right? Like the Christopher Eccleston range, right? I thought of a way they could do a Dalek 3-parter really easily, right? Let's say the Doctor lands on a space station and its computer has been malfunctioning or taken over something, so he goes inside it in a VR way, and it's got a Dalek virus like loaded in there. That way, it's not breaking continuity, and he's fighting the Daleks for a 3-part, and it's like it's a 3-part. Or you could do like a 3-part. You could do a box set about his entire lifespan. Like I get the feeling during Rose, he regenerates. He comes back to Rose a lot of times in his lifespan, right? He regenerates and then he comes back like a few hundred years later and does the middle bit, and then comes back again a few hundred years later and does the end bit.
Maybe, right? Yeah, I think that could work. Yeah,
but there's not a good unified vision for these box sets, right? Nick Briggs is very good at that, right? That first one, having a 3-part story, was helped us. But this thing is, these stories.
It seems to me that they're losing a grasp now. They get complacent with things really quickly. The Christopher Eccleston range in particular should be unmissable, and I haven't bothered with the last two sets.
I've dipped out of that since last few, ever since they brought in the stranded people. Yeah, again, this thing looks just boring as hell. I'm sorry. Dan
Stark is always smiling, isn't he? He seems like a good guy, but happy guy, and I think he's good at his job, and he's happy to have an audience. And because they got BBC doing books on tape, there's Tim Treloar reading whatever. So I wish Big Finish would, for $9.99, right? That's the price point. $9.99 download, do a AI deep fake of Sylvester McCoy, because they got all his tapes, right? Without any Sylvester McCoy reading the New Adventures, right? $9.99. And you put the sound effects on it. They can. I think that's a very viable range for them, right? Throw Sylvester. They could throw Sylvester a few quid.
Exactly. Yeah, he makes money. Big Finish make money. I get a product I like, and I feel like an era of Doctor Who that's been lost won't be. So that'll be good. Janet Fielding reading War of the Deep. Yeah, no, thank you.
That sounds. I love Janet. I love Janet Fielding. And I love Warriors of the Deep. But that sounds excruciating.
Really?
Yeah, God, yeah, I love it. To be honest, any Davison story, I love them all. But yeah, I really like Warriors of the Deep. Yeah.
Really? It's awful.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for AI to get good enough that we can just remake it, right? Because it's the direction. It's awful. But I'm glad you like it. But
See, I know that you're right, but I'm laughing anyway.
Listen, we're all allowed to like. Look, I like all the Colin Baker. I can't.
I'm a big fan of Delta and the Bannermen, as people may. I think the word has got out about that.
Yeah. Again, I would love to see somebody re-edit that into a 45-minute good story with new effects, and I think that they could do that. So are you getting Once and Future that's coming out in a couple of weeks, about the same day as the coronation, I think?
I'm considering it. I think this could be really good. So I'm considering it.
I got the whole thing pre-ordered, so I'm hoping it's going to work. Also, I do like this. The War Doctor Begins. I think he's excellent. This is a range that I would like to see continue. So this is coming out next month. I'm looking forward to that. And in the green room with Ian Covington. So he was okay. Harry Sullivan's Finest Moments by the new guy playing Harry Sullivan. That sounds fun. That's a nice little bit.
He is such a nice fella. We had him on Type 40 and he was great company.
It's so nice to hear, right? It's nice to hear. No interest in this whatsoever. The revamp of Torchwood story.
Stop making Torchwood without John Barrowman. It's pretty pointless.
I just stop in general. I kind of like these, but I never really read them. But they're kind of fun. They're for the bathroom. So next month is coming out on the 25th of May. We get the 80s figures for the 5th and 6th Doctor on their on the poll. What seems Alex Kingston been keeping about the clothes? They're interviewing Alex Kingston. Wheel of Misfortune, nice. Wheel in Space, Dome. Okay, more about the comic strip, and it's $7.99. Bloody hell!
$7.99 again next month. That's gone up by another £1. That's ridiculous.
And it's 85 pages, and the comic strip's only 6 pages long. But they had a lot of stuff in this one, I have to say. I do like these posters. These posters are freaking good.
Yeah, they are nice. Yeah.
I mean, they absolutely lovely, and I think they really nail these stories. I think we'll probably be getting more, but these are absolutely gorgeous. Inferno, especially. Oh, maybe it's based on the. It's based on the.
Based on the VHS covers.
No, it's based on the season poll.
Of course it is. Yeah.
And the Dalek Invasion Verse are both number 1. I think City of Death was, and Invade. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Oh, it's a nice idea.
Yeah. Excellent. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you are notified when new videos drop.